let's move on now to the Houston Texans and our rookie preview, where Ryan and I, we will break down why this rookie will have the biggest impact on the overall performance of the Houston Texans in 2023. But before we do that, if you have not already, hit the subscribe button and also ring the bell to get notified whenever we create new content. Ryan and I, we have a goal of getting to 2,000 subscribers by the start of the season, and that is just a couple weeks away. We have a bunch more content as well coming out between now and the start of the season. And once when the season starts, we will be having a fun, brotherly season-long competition where we will predict and make videos on every single NFL game. So if you want to follow our competition, see our predictions for all of the Texans games, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified. And Ryan, let's get into it here.
Let's do it.
Unlike all of the other rookie quarterbacks that had been drafted in the first round, well, I guess of the three main ones, we actually had some debate, but I feel like CJ Stroud is going to obviously be the rookie with the biggest, that will have the biggest impact overall because he is a quarterback as well. Like I think that they are going to be giving him the reins, even though Davis Mills looked solid in the preseason game. It's still the preseason, so it's really hard to tell. And you don't take a quarterback at number 2 to have him sit behind Davis Mills. So no offense to Davis Mills. I think he's unfortunately underrated just in a poor situation. But CJ Stroud, the ceiling is much greater. And I think he's just going to have to take his licks. He's going to have his errors his first year. We've seen it happen with Justin Fields, and we're starting to see him improve. And so hopefully like year 3 for him is a good year. I think we say the same with Kenny Pickett in a little bit quicker time span, like those first couple games of his. I'm just of the mindset of like trial by fire. Just get him out there. Like he's going to make his mistakes. You picked second last year for a reason. One player's not really going to fix it, but you want him to keep improving. So he's going to be the one that's going to have the biggest impact. But there are several other players that we'll get into later on that I think also have some good say on like potentially having a bigger impact. But I want to hear your thoughts first on CJ Stroud and really just kind of get your overall expectations for him coming into the 2023 season.
Yeah, so kind of what you said, rookie season, you want to get a lot of scenarios on tape from him. You're not going to be competing for anything this year. You're not even going to really be competing for the division. So just getting him out there, getting him fresh reps or live reps, and keeping him upright is going to be, I think, the main concern for the Texans. But once when he's out there, he looked a little bit like a deer in headlights in that Patriots game, especially after that interception was atrocious. But the good news about that is that is probably the easiest pick to fix because he threw it right to the Patriots defender in just kind of panic, right? Like at the end of his progression, he's like, I don't know where to go with the football. I don't want to get hit. All right, here.
The one thing that I will say that I like about that play, though, is he actually had one. It showed he had some decent time. He actually went through his progressions. That was about his third or fourth read, or whichever one. And the guy was open, but he was just late to it. So that safety was able to get a jump. And you're right. It's like it actually was in general. It was a poor decision at the end of the play, but he went through his reads. Also, offensive line gave him protection to do that, which is huge as well. But it was just a mistake, a poor decision error. Like if he got half a second earlier, that guy's open for a good 10, 15-yard game.
I will say Jalen Mills was sitting on that route as a whole, and Jalen Mills actually almost overran the football in that pick. So he was definitely late, but all he has to do is just be aware that defender's there and know that throw isn't really open.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty easy one to make. It's not like he just totally missed a blind defender. Like that guy is just right in the open. He just threw it anyway. So that to me, I do have pretty high expectations for him though. He was my QB1, especially you look at that Georgia game that we keep seeing highlights from even now. He was phenomenal. He was the best college quarterback in that game that we'd seen all year. So the only thing was we'd only seen it once. So I really like CJ Stroud. I think he's going to be in a pretty good situation there. He has what seems to be a good offensive line around him.
Yeah.
So if they can keep him upright, I do really like his chances to develop and become a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
I do want to throw it back over to you because you do have a player who we talked about before, who I really liked coming into the draft process is the wide receiver guy. But who do you think is another guy that could have a really big impact on the Houston Texans in 2023?
Well, and that's where I think obviously quarterback has a lot to play, but he has to have guys to throw to. And to me, we have been impressed with Tank Dell this entire off season, so to say, going all the way back to the Senior Bowl, and then just seeing his film, and he looked legit. He looked like he could just get open whenever he wanted to, create space, and I think he's going to be that reliable guy because if you look at the receiving room right now, Nico Collins is their number one. I like John Mechie. We just need to see how he develops and keeps coming back into the NFL after having to miss last year. I'm glad that he is back. Robert Woods is a seasoned veteran, but I mean, if we're talking about overall elusiveness,
I think he's 32. He's lost.
I want Tank Dell in that corner more than Robert Woods, every single guy. So I think he is going to be that consistent spark for CJ Stroud. Hey, if I need someone to get open, I think he's going to be the guy because he's super quick, very agile. He has that kind of JSN type ability to just get open and is very explosive off his breaks. So, and we saw a little bit of that, I think, with in that Patriots game. And as the season keeps going on, I think he's just going to keep getting better and better. But this Texans team, though, I'm liking how they drafted, and I'm liking how they're shaping up as well because I think they have consistent guys that they can keep building around, like Tank Dell. John Mechie, I hope, keeps developing. Xavier Hutchinson, I think, is a dark horse over the next couple of years to be a good, consistent receiver for a team. But even then, too, I like Juice Scruggs. They need to keep improving on that offensive line. And then also, too, the guy as well, it's everything that with the performance of CJ Stroud and Tank Dell. Next, everyone was focused on them. I think people kind of forgot about Will Anderson as well, who would I think he's another guy that's going to be perfect to build around that D'Amico Ryan's going to love. So that's why it was tough for me. It wasn't just an easy this rookie's going to obviously be the biggest impact. There's several rookies I think that we could have made legitimate videos on that, I just mentioned, that that could have a big impact. And if they play really well, they're going to improve this Texas team a lot.
Yeah, no, I think in terms of young potential in this division, I think they could end up being kind of where the Jags are 2 or 3 years into the CJ Stroud experiment. Just because I do think they've drafted well. That Tank Dell, I think, could develop into a really solid wide receiver. Will Anderson, one of the most polished edge rushing prospects we've seen in years. And so I like what they're bringing to the table. They're just really young and they haven't put all the pieces together yet. So but let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on who your favorite Texans rookie is going to be to watch in 2023. And other than that, we will see you guys next time.